Oh, I'm sorry. I have my mute on. I just turned my mute off, and we're live here. This is the game tournament. It's a tournament game, semifinals. Rampage versus Terminator. Terminator in green, Rampage in pink. Here we've got an arm player versus a core player, and these players both started out with mites, fleas and peewees, and kind of infantry K-bots, and we've got metal deposits in the middle, about 20 metal deposits in the middle. There's a C in the middle, and that prevents that makes this game kind of interesting. It's an interesting map in my opinion because you've got this long land route to the enemy, a short sea route, but doesn't quite get to their main. So it lends itself to both an air start and a ground start, or even a sea start if you wanted to go that way. There's quite a few underwater mexes in this area. The wind is not too powerful, so both these players are going for solar generators, and there's quite a few reclaimables on both sides of the map, but not really enough to be a reclaimable map by default. Terminator's got a couple K-bot constructors over there, 2 K-bot constructors, 2 mites, 1 AK heading out to the enemy to scout. Rampage is sending 2 peewees down to southeast, and he's got 2 fleas, 1 constructor who's working on a second constructor. Meanwhile, Terminator just produced a third constructor going on air, thinking that he's facing an air opponent. However, his AK is going to be meeting these peewees soon, very soon in the southeast, and we'll see the game change from that point. This is kind of the early, exploratory phase where both players are trying to figure out what the other player is doing, just kind of by the process of elimination, figuring out, okay, what have I not experienced yet, and what would that lead me to believe that the enemy is doing right now. So this phase is, right there. Let's see, Terminator is definitely seeing these AKs right here. Rampage has just moved his view over here too. We've got the share map position turned on right now, and Terminator is moving back to his main base, and he's going to be changing what he's building here. He's going to start building more AKs and LLTs. Enemy is clearly not using air. So let's go back to the spectator camera right here, and this AK is not dead yet. It's about half health. Moving north, it's not going to find that flea. The flea is not going to reclaim that rock right there. That flea is heading further south, possibly trying to try and get these rocks down here. This is professional level play, so each of these players are very, very, very competent. We're not going to see too many mistakes in this game. It's going to be very, very intense, very, 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 very high level play. Right here we've got a construction K-bot in the south for Rampage, building this shipyard. Very interesting. I think it's a really good move because there's so many underwater metal deposits right here, and a shipyard as opposed to a hover factory is a very good way to get a constructor out really quickly without having to sacrifice too much energy or metal. A shipyard costs about 600 metal. Compared to about the 1,500 metal that a hover construction or a hover plant would take, and also the ship constructors have a much better worker time than the hover constructors, allowing them to build underwater mexes faster. So we've got Terminator kind of expanding with his land right now, and to give you an update on the economy stats right now, his Rampage is plus 10 metal, Terminator is plus 13 metal. He's also reclaiming some things as well. This constructor in the southwest right here might get hit by that peewee. That peewee is able to take out that metal extractor, but it will require quite a bit of micro in order for Rampage to actually take that constructor out. So it's probably not going to happen. We've got AKs heading from the middle to the southeast right now, and it looks like Rampage has discovered this mite, and Terminator is kind of taking that mite back, trying to get as many rocks as he can before he gets taken out by that peewee. And he's his AK is still not dead. He's able to get this AK in a similar position. Rampage just got his peewee reclaimed by Terminator's construction K-bot right there. Interesting. I would not expect that to happen, but it just did. We've got more AKs here, and this mite, or this flea actually is just reclaiming all these rocks, and Terminator is not able to do anything about it. Neither player. Okay, Terminator just moved his view over there, and he's moving his AKs in to take out that flea. Rampage focusing on expansion. Looks like he's moving his peewees forward, and he's got that scout out and that construction ship out, and he's kind of moving forward, trying to get his army into place. He's retreating now, I'm not sure he meant to move these Pee-wees back, but I'm sure he meant to move those ones back. He might lose that flea to that AK. We'll see. Terminator will probably be able to get that shot off. One shot, two shot, flees down. That AK more than compensated for his own worth. So very, very good play on Terminator's part. And again, looking at the stats, we've got Rampage at 11, and Terminator, his energy is kind of preventing me from seeing his actual medal count, but it looks like it's at 14 right now, which is pretty decent. So both players in a good position when it comes to economy. Not much difference there. Rampage has got his construction ships out there building metal extractors in the sea. Terminator has no equivalent kind of metal production in the sea, and probably won't have anytime soon. So we're going to see one player here getting more metal and the other player getting more energy. Seeing as Terminator's geothermal power plant is going to be constructed soon. He's got 3 construction K-bots working on that right now. Yeah, very good formation here on Rampage's part. He's got all those AKs grouped up in one location. Meanwhile, Rampage is sending them in one by one, which means that Terminator is sending them in one by one. So Terminator's not going to have the edge on that in that fight, despite AKs being superior to Pee-wees, very marginally. 2 underwater metal constructors, or 2 underwater metal extractors, 3 underwater metal extractors already constructed, and I think we've got no more constructors coming out right there. Let's see, what is he going to build next? He's going to build another constructor, try and get that metal a little faster. So again, I'm looking at this, and we've got Terminator coming on top on the energy, about 200 plus, and Rampage coming ahead on the metal. He's got 2 more metal per tick, and he's got lots of cons kind of out there in the sea, and a few cons on the land. Terminator's kind of he's a lot more sparse on his cons. He's got some AFK cons, and right now he's going for a hovercraft platform, which will be very beneficial to his anti-land game, his attacking game right now, because he hasn't really been able to penetrate far into Rampage's area of the map quite yet. Likewise, Rampage hasn't really been able to move into Terminator's part of the map right now. But all these Pee-wees here, that's enough to break through over here, but Terminator is going to be able to hold off whatever amount of units Rampage uses with these LLTs right here. These LLTs are not going to let anything past them, especially if they're backed up by AKs. However, I do not think at this point that there's going to be any kind of assault over land through this kind of strait right here. This little small piece of land in the southeast corner is probably not going to be too important. I think it's going to be fortified pretty quickly. Rampage is seeing this group of AKs, and I don't think Terminator is paying attention. Let's kind of go to see what Terminator is looking at right now. Looks like he's expanding. He's trying to, kind of queue up build orders on underwater metals, underwater mexes. He's sending out that construction hovercraft right there, and I think he's starting to see there's a Pee-wee down there. He's going to send some AKs down there to take it out. He sees another Pee-wee south of his main group of AKs, and I think he's going to be spending too much attention on that. Let's see, what is Rampage doing in the meantime? He's got that scout right there, and he's kind of got a monopoly on these underwater mexes at this point. He's going to need to, he's probably going to start building out some combat sea units after he sees that Rampage, or not that Rampage, but that Terminator has some combat hovercraft units. So here we've got more Pee-wees engaging these AKs, and groups of Pee-wees trying to move out and kind of move these AKs out of position. I think possibly after those Pee-wees move these AKs out of position, he might move these other Pee-wees forward. But I think he might just trying to be he's probably just trying to move those things out of the area. And we've got some combat over here. Looks like a scrubber versus a construction ship. Scrubber's getting reclaimed. It's going to get reclaimed, no problem. Pee-wee's not going to get through. We've still got pretty much a similar army of AKs and Pee-wees right here. Rampage sent a few units at a time. Not very effective in my opinion. And the armies are now of a similar size. A couple of Pee-wees are getting past right there, and I don't think there's anything really that they could that Terminator would lose to those Peewees. Terminator sees that construction ship right there, and he's kind of focusing on this northwest right here. He's got igniters out, which are flamethrower hovercrafts, and they're pretty powerful hovercrafts. Takes out that construction unit very quickly. There's not that much anti-ground or hover units over here, just mostly anti-air. And holy crap! Advanced K-Bot Lab. Terminator's playing against Rampage, who already has Tech 2 right now. So he's got Tech 2, he's building out some advanced construction K-Bots, and looks like he's going to go for some zippers right now. Zippers are fast attack K-Bots, very, very quick, lightly armored, and very good at raiding. And I think if those zippers get behind his lines, he's going to start building some more defense past back there, kind of in his rear quadrant. So these salamanders are moving closer in, taking out this construction unit. I think his Rampage is going to send his zippers up there to take out the salamanders. He's got to take out that one LT and then this construction unit. He's spending a lot of time microing here. Both players are microing in this location. Meanwhile, other units are kind of moving around and moving into position. Terminator salamanders are reduced to 2 from 4. And the zippers, while they're taking a hit, they're also doing quite a lot of damage to these salamanders. Salamanders are both at 50%. Another salamander enters the scene, and that LLT behind those solar constructors is not going to let these salamanders leave this place alive. His commander and his zippers and his LLT have been able to defend his base from that. He looks like he's building Fidos now. And Terminator's got a couple snappers, hover tanks with kind of like hover stumpies, pretty much, behind Rampage's lines. But I don't know what he's about to use these things for. Possibly to take out these Peewees on the front line. He's got like 3 Roccos in that unit right there. It's quite a tactical decision. These four snappers will be able to take out these LLTs no problem. Let's just kind of take a look at that. However, if the snappers just kind of go too far into that spam of massive K-bots, they're not going to be able to get out of there alive. You got one snapper that's like 10% right now. He's got to flank these Peewees and also use these AKs to move up. So at this point, I think we're gonna. Looks like Rampage is starting to build Zeus's now. Zeus's are the appropriate response to this kind of incursion. Meanwhile, we've got five Mariners, missile boats, kind of flanking Terminator's side. Meanwhile, Terminator's got an advanced K-Bot Lab out already, and that's going to help him, kind of improve his economy. He's building advanced construction K-Bots, and I think he might be moving on his metal. These players are both pretty equally matched in terms of their economy right now. We've got Rampage at 39 metal and Terminator at 37. Both equally around the energy, same amount of energy. Rampage with 200 energy more. Fido's hitting these AKs and snappers taking out these Peewees. This is quite an interesting fight so far. We've got AKs moving up that west flank and Fido's taking out these snappers. Not really hitting too accurately, but at the same time, neither are the snappers. These two units are not very easily macroed. You need to spend a lot of time microing them. Fido's have been able to take out snappers with no casualties. I don't think any of them even got hit by those snappers. Meanwhile, these Peewees or these AKs are just kind of heading towards their inevitable death. A tidal generator farm being produced by Rampage in a pretty, I'd say it's a considerably safe spot. However, if Terminator sends some hovercraft over there, he'll be able to take it out pretty quickly. He's got idle construction units. Terminator's got idle construction units in the south, and looks like like three idle cons that I can count. He's mostly looking to use his advanced construction K-bots to build probably moho mines in this case right here. And he's got two moho mines in this area, and it looks like he's building dominators, which will be a good counter to these mariners. And Terminator's getting pushed back by these mariners right here. His construction hovercrafts are having to fall back a little bit, and looks like Rampage is able to deter that attack with Fidos and Zeuses. These 4 Zeuses coming down with about, I want to say, that's 6 Fidos, and construction units moving in, rebuilding what has been lost, and advanced construction K-bots moving in, probably going to turn these metal deposits into moho mines. And at this point, I think we've got kind of a building up of defense in the south. Terminator is building a gat gun right here, so that'll go up pretty quickly, although he is low on energy. Terminator is low on energy, Rampage low on metal. I'd say it's much worse to be low on energy than metal. Metal, you can reclaim energy. You need to have buildings that are able to use that. Looks like we've got these mariners. Will they see the construction hovercraft? Probably not. He gets that ship anyway. He'll probably lose that hovercraft. So right now we've still got a buildup of tidal generators here, this tidal farm that Terminator does not know about, and Dominator is being produced from this advanced K-bot factory, construction hovercrafts being produced by this construction factory, or hovercraft construction factory, and an aircraft plant going up in the northeast, and more Zeus is being produced. So I think at this point Terminator is probably going to kind of start beefing up the defense in the south, while looks like Rampage is building an army to move through that base right there. What is going on? What is Terminator doing? I think he's reclaiming the hovercraft platform. Looks like hovercrafts no longer have any kind of role in Terminator's game right now. Probably may not be the best decision, but Gimps will be much better against this area right here. Both players are still quite similar, quite equal in terms of their production at the moment. So this continues to be an interesting game. We've got an army being built up in the southeast right here. Zeuses have started to make contact with these Peewees and Roccos and Fidos, and very soon I'd say that this army is going to be ready to move in. Rampage, having built an army in the southeast, is now kind of starting to move towards consolidation and improvement. He's upgrading his base. He's building moho mines on top of metal extractors that previously had a mere metal extractor on top of them, a Tech 1 extractor. Now they're kind of going up to Tech 2. And Terminator is building gat guns, heavy laser towers across the coast in the south. So we got Mariners heading back, kind of back to base a little bit. These construction ships are no longer doing too much. Let's kind of check it. Check out what Ramp is doing. Ramp is almost accessing on metal. He's got a lot of metal he's not using right now. So let's see what he decides to do with that. Both players similar metal in terms of production. Terminator is using that metal much more efficiently. He's able to keep his surplus down to quite a small amount, and start building what he needs to build. However, the excess energy that Rampage has is allowing him to build this advanced aircraft plant, and probably will allow him to build quite a few advanced quite a few T2 aircraft as well. Advanced construction K-bots have a considerably high worker time, and they're able to build things very, very quickly. So probably going to send that worker over there to take care of the geothermal plant right there. And he's continuing to build metal throughout the map. He's doing quite well in his production in metal. Let's see what Terminator is doing in response. He's got quite a few pulverizers, and he's continuing to build Dominators. He's going for a Tech 2 aircraft plant as well. Very surprising. He's not going to be able to finish it before Rampage finishes his. Rampage building a flacker surrounded by fort walls. Very, very good anti-defense. Looks like we've got some Terminators engaging these ground units in the southeast. Does Terminator see those units on his radar? He does see a few, but it only looks like a few dots, when in reality it's quite the army. We've got more Dominators moving in to support those units right there. 4 Dominators is not... 7 Dominators, that's probably not going to be enough units to defend against this army. However, Rampage will probably fizzle out at around this point right here. He's not going to be able to pass too quickly. And looks like we've got some air units by Rampage. Rampage has kind of moved to, take a considerable portion of the sea, and he's, kind of owning the map control. I'd say he's got at least 55% of the map right now. Probably more like 57 to 60% of the map in terms of map control. So we'll see how that plays out. Probably is going to play out in Rampage's favor. Terminator, meanwhile, is moving these Dominators southeast right now, and this army right here, very very tightly packed concentration of Zeuses. It's not going to do too well against these Dominators. If the Dominators focus on these Fidos and these Peewees, and the Zeuses are able to flank around behind them, that'll be very very good boon for Rampage. So let's see how this battle plays out. He's got the Dominators right there, and the Fidos are moving back. So are the Zeuses. I don't think it's time yet. Dominators targeting the Zeuses via radar. I highly doubt Terminator knows what those units are. They aren't dying though, and looks like one of the Zeuses is falling back. And this is the moment when Rampage might strike. And Zeus gets taken out before it takes out the Dominator. Dominator, however, at 30%, and more units probably going to be filing in soon. Finks over here, actually these are peepers, kind of patrolling this area, making sure that nothing's going through unannounced. And bombers from the Tech 1 plant and gunships from the Tech 2 plant right here. This will be very, very interesting. I think we're going to see some close air support for this this ground force down here, if they do decide to move in. Meanwhile, we've got a Dominator taking out this Trident right here. Very, very gutsy play by Rampage, building a Trident without a radar jammer. A radar jammer would probably allow this to, go unnoticed, but since Terminator knows what's in the sea, he's not going to let it go away. He's not going to let it, just be built. At least I hope he doesn't, because he's going to regret it. So we've got 3 gunships now, and looks like we've got most of Rampage's constructors here building these brawlers, but he's going to be building more construction K-bots in order to build these out. That construction K-bot right there is going to go straight to building gunships, and I know it. The line of sight of that floating MRPC is very, very large. He's able to see that Dominator from all the way over there, and I think he's gonna, kind of focus on taking out that Dominator first. I think those, it looks like those pulverizers are gonna be taken out. After those pulverizers are taken out, he's gonna send his gunships in. His gunships are probably gonna start taking out the rest of those. He's probably going to stay north. He's got to stay north. He's going to take out that geothermal. Geothermal's going to take out a few of the solars, 3 of the solars, and he's taking out that Moho mine right now. There's no anti-air. Meanwhile, Terminator's moving in the southeast. Rampage is moving he's going to move his Zeuses in to counter that. These brawlers have no competition. The Trident has been built. The K-bot lab is going to go down in one more shot. Oh, it's down. Gunship's moving around right there. He's probably going to move his Zeuses in to take out these Dominators. All these Dominators are getting wrecked right now. We've got tons of Zeuses, and they've engaged in close combat. Fido's coming in from the north. These Dominators are toast. Rampage just took out Terminator's entire army in the south, and now he's moving forward with air-supported Fidos and Zeuses. Tons of brawlers, Fidos and Zeuses moving in. There's only three Gat guns and 2 Dominators to defend against that. We've got looks like Mariners taking out these Rapiers. The Rapiers don't really do much. No air defense. The Brawlers are going to take out each of these guys. There's no air defense. There's no way to defend against this close air support. This is just brilliant play by Rampage. Brilliant play. Both of the Dominators down at once. Fido's taking out the Gat gun while it's distracted, shooting at the Brawlers. And it's down. All of the defense is down. Rampage marches on. Terminator is building a new advanced K-Bot lab, and he's building some flat guns here, trying to compensate for his lack of anti-air. This lack of anti-air is not going to stop the Zeuses or the Fidos. Rampage is kind of brilliant here. He knows that Terminator is not going to be able to build any anti-air. At least he hasn't built any serious anti-air past that one point. He's going to have to bring his brawlers around. He's going to be able to take out that one Cobra, and then he's going to take out the rest of this stuff. And he doesn't even need to take these things out with the brawlers. He'll be able to take them out just as easily with these other units. He's got fighters out, taking out those Rapiers with those fighters. His Hawks are taking out those Rapiers hardcore. This is amazing. Brawlers taking out whatever's left to that north. Taking out 3 advanced construction K-Watts, a couple Dominators, and now these Gat guns. That's no longer the issue. These Rapiers are getting knocked out. These Hawks kicking them out of that zone, and these Zeuses and Fidos are marching on southwest. There is no contest here. There is no contest. Only needs to send 1 Zeus out there to take out that Geo. There's no contest. Terminator cannot send anything back down there to take out those Zeuses or those Fidos. They're just going to march indefinitely until they've destroyed every single thing that Terminator has. Meanwhile, the Trident just keeps hitting those buildings down there. It's defended by at least 7 Mariners. This farm right over here with titles just hasn't been hit at all. Tech 3 plant being built by Rampage in the meantime, and a T3 con just got built. Lots of wrecks right here, and Zeuses just keep filing in. There's a never-ending line of Zeuses right there. Terminator says GG, and I've got to concur with the Terminator here. There is no way he's getting out of this pickle, out of this situation. He is just so totally screwed. There's those fights down there in the southeast, and this Trident being built right outside of his main. The Tech 2 and Tech 1, the bombers taking out those pulverizers, and the brawlers taking out the rest of that. Just brilliant plays. Terminator self-destructs, and the game goes to Rampage. Rampage 1, Terminator 0. Thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next game, which probably will be happening in a couple days or so. So I'll see you then. Please check out the forums, TAEuniverse.com.